Hello, welcome to the One I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, I'm wearing clothes. I'm wearing a Mighty Ducks hat and a high-end T-shirt. Anyway, I drink a lot of coffee. I drink so much coffee that I passed out, and then I woke up, and now I feel like I don't know, but I don't feel good. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, so we're gonna start out the first show of season 14, talking about K-pop. So for those of you who listen to the show, know that I've talked about this before when it first happened. So we're not gonna rehash the whole story, but there's more stuff that happened. So this group, Seraphim, debuted in 2022, and for those of you that remember when they came out, I talked about how this is a visual based group, meaning it doesn't matter what they, how they dance, how they sing. It's just this is a group that is meant for people who like visuals. And most K-pop groups, they're gonna have backing vocals or lip sync, and it doesn't matter. Like, look at Britney Spears. I don't know if she's ever sang a note live in her life, but she had a decent career. Now she's a 45-year-old divorced soccer mom who does drugs and does TikToks, but that's a different story. Probably we'll probably do something about that because it's just funny. Anyway, when they came out, what did I say? I said that this chick, her name was Unchi. I'm like, she's like really hot, and then I said Garam, she's really hot. Okay, and this is a what's her name, Sakura. She's very popular too. But anyway, my opinion, their songs aren't that good, but they have really attractive women in the group. Okay, so after a few months, so once again I said Unchi smoking hot, Garam smoking hot, and if you remember back in 2022, I was like, you got to look at this group with the sound down. Remember? And so anyway, this is Kim Garam. Anyway, so I was like, like follow them. If you're heterosexual, like you can. If you don't like K-pop, you can like turn the sound down and still watch the videos. Be like, oh yeah, this is an entertaining group. Anyway, so a couple months into their debut, some random person on the internet was like, this person bullied me in middle school. Okay, and so the problem is, like why wait till someone is having success to ruin their life? But that's what cancel culture is. Okay, so it was a big controversy because in Korea, school bullying is very bad. It is a if people like if you're famous and people find out that you did something bad in middle school, whatever, it is the end of the world. And so they had to do some investigation. She had to go on hiatus. When I mean they had to do some investigation, like the company, because the press is hounding them. There's a bunch of people online going, I'm not going to support the group if she's in the group still. And so like she went on hiatus, and she got kicked out. Okay, now it's kind of weird because Unchi right here, the second hottest chick, she wanted her Garam's singing lines and just like focus. You know how women are jealous. And so anyway, they finally kicked her out of the group, and so it was just months and months of just online hate for this girl, right? And then it turns out that the school bullying thing, it was more complicated than what the story was. And I know we talked about it before, but apparently Kim or Garam, one of her friends was being bullied, and so she stood up for her friend by confronting the person that was bullying her friend, but then that was considered bullying because she. You see how bullshit it is? Anyway, but the only difference is between the person who bullied her friend and her is that she became famous. And so soon as she, you know, made it, it's very hard to become a K-pop idol. There's they say like only like it's like under 10% of people who try, make it. It's basically like trying to be like a professional basketball player. Like a very small percentage, do this. But anyway, so after like years of hate, I think it took about 2 years to find out that like she wasn't the one actually bullying. But the problem is, all this is done in the public, and when she first got accused, the company didn't like defend her. They didn't say anything, and so it was actually independent people doing investigating and found out, yeah, she's innocent, and it's a lot more murky than what it is because she's defending a friend. So whatever. Okay, so that was a couple years ago because it's 2025 now, right? Okay, so she went to school. She went to like this acting school. Okay, I guess the Korean version of Juilliard. Okay, so anyway, so she graduates from her acting school, and then she makes an Instagram right here. It has one post, and I believe this Instagram is maybe 2 days old, and she already has 571,000 followers. Okay, and this is the picture she posted. Okay, she already has she already has almost 600,000 followers. Okay, so obviously she has a fan base. Every time she has a birthday, you'll see advertisements in Korea, and it'll be like "Happy Birthday, Garam." So like she has a fan base. But you know what else she has? She has a dedicated hate base. People who every time they see her, say stuff like, why is she existing? Why is she outside? Why is she living life? Like, why is she continuing? Like they'll be like, she went to a coffee shop one time, and there's people online going, how dare she go outside? Like, once again, these people just want you erased from society. Okay. And I don't think that the average person is sitting around thinking, if I ever see this person again, or just constantly thinking, I hate her, I hate her, I hate her, how dare she exist? But there is a dedicated, I guess, hate base. I can't call them fan base, hate base, who is just waiting for any single thing she does to go, why does she exist? So what I don't understand, they kicked her out the group because like there are people going, I won't support the group if she's in it. So they kick her out. And then we find out that, two of the members wanted her gone because they were jealous of the focus she was getting, right? So it's been like a couple years. Don't do that. And so that's her dancing in the middle. Okay, so it's been a couple years. Why are people still this angry? Even though we know it's not true. So this just proves my point that people just want you gone. They just want you dead. I mean, what does that say about society? Well, that's Korean society. And, I don't, and I can't aggregate the negative comments. I don't know if they're mostly from Korea, mostly international. But the point is, it's still, you have a group of haters doing this. So what's going to happen, like, I don't know, whatever, 5 years from now? What if she gets a job at, I'm just making something up, like at, Sony? So, like, is there going to be a hate campaign, a social media campaign to have her not work there? So it's like, what is this person allowed to do? Because anything she does, and it's been years, and it's been proven she didn't, it wasn't, the whole story wasn't told. What is she supposed to do? Like, how is this person supposed to live if there's hundreds of thousands of people constantly going, she shouldn't be outside? How do you fight that? Well, you fight that by just living your life, and hopefully she's, allowed to get a job. Like, it just doesn't make it makes no sense. And so what has to happen is, and see, her company failed her. What has to happen is, when there is a hate campaign, you have to, the amount of energy that these people put onto you, you have to either ignore them completely because they'll go away, because as soon as you cave and show them that you will listen to them, it makes them just want to do it more. So imagine if, like, whatever, the next 5 attempts to cancel someone, the company or the place they work for or whatever just ignores them, or whatever, takes legal action and stands up for the person, they're going to go away. But the problem is, people keep caving because people don't realize that one comment, whatever, 3 comments, it doesn't matter how many comments on the internet, it's usually a person with like 5 other accounts. And once again, the average person isn't on the internet, but the average person with no life is on the internet. And usually when you don't have a life, you're full of anger and you're sitting around waiting just to hop on the hate train. But anyway, so she does have, can I close this? Good, I can. And so I've seen several videos on YouTube complaining about her Instagram because she had the nerve to make an Instagram. So what is she? So she's not allowed to use the internet now. Think how ridiculous it is that you're so mad at this person that she's not allowed to use the internet. Doesn't that show you how crazy these people are? She's literally not allowed to use the internet. Like, there's countless YouTube videos of people complaining that she took a picture and posted it on the internet. She has a solid fan base. Remember, her Instagram has been up a little over a day, and there's 571,000 followers. So doesn't that mean that she has a hardcore fan base? And don't you think that those people have the right to watch her do music or whatever, act, whatever? So, like, if you don't like her and you hate her so much, ignore her, block her. Imagine how good your life would be if you hate this person. Block this Instagram page, block her YouTube channel, whatever, block her ex, and you'll never have to hear from this person. If you see her in a a K-drama, just don't watch it. But these people are going to actively try to, I'm assuming she's going to start acting because she went to this really expensive school and graduated. So I'm assuming she's going to get some kind of acting job. Or people going to attack the Netflix because she's on a Netflix K-drama. It's like, when does it end? What if she just got a job as a barista at a coffee shop? What would you do if you hated her? Would you actively try to get her fired and try to stage a protest against Starbucks, or would you just not go there and just live and let live? She didn't do anything to you. And even though it's been proven that the story was altered a lot to make it come off as something bad, even though you have the information that it wasn't school bullying, you still don't care because you just have, Garam derangement syndrome. I guess it's the same thing as people that have Trump derangement syndrome. Like, it doesn't matter what this person does, you're not gonna like it. So us normal folk have to just, I don't know. Because the problem is, we don't want to defend this. We shouldn't have to defend this. We like, because like we have lives. I have a life, and you're like, no, you don't. I do. And so, one of my hobbies is making YouTube videos. So like, I can do this, but it's like, if my hobby wasn't making YouTube videos, I I wouldn't spend like one second talking about this, because I'm like, first of all, I was never mad in the first place. Um, School bullying. How many times has a story come out like this? Someone's career gets ruined, someone's life gets ruined, and then you find out a few months later the person made it up. It's happened dozens of times. Okay, people don't like other people being successful because their life sucks, and so your life should suck too. When are we gonna stop this? I I, I don't know, but it just shows you how just chronically online, or being chronically online, can just make you a complete moron. Because if you had something else going on in your life, you wouldn't give a shit about her. There's there's lots of actors, whatever, lots of there's lots of things, people that I don't like. Okay, now I know I don't like Billie Eilish. Okay, no, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious. I don't like Billie Eilish. Okay, Billie, I look like a dog Eilish, but I am not gonna protest her. I'm not gonna like, if she has a sponsorship, I'm not gonna start a hate campaign to get people to like make her lose money. I just don't buy her products. I don't support her music. And I think this is funny. I'm not hurting her life in any way, because no one gives a fuck what I have to say anyway. Okay? But imagine if I hated her so much that I'm actively looking for her to make a public appearance and go like, why is she outside? Every time she posts something on internet, why is she allowed to do this? Like, you would think I was crazy. I mean, all of you think I'm crazy just for doing this. So imagine like going that far. Like, I don't know, there's something wrong with these people. And I try to avoid extremes. I mean, people who are extreme, like, it's okay to believe in God, but the person who, like, the only thing he talks about is religion, I stay away from that person, because that person has a screw loose. The same thing is like, whatever, like a person who likes Pokemon, and the only thing they talk about is Pokemon. I'm like, there's something wrong with you. There's more to life than Pokemon. Well, except for Gardevoir. That's you got to look up the Rule 34 on Gardevoir. Yeah, you know. Okay, what's wrong with people? You're being lectured by a man that has a picture of Billie Eilish and an Afghan dog. I think. Well, I think the dog's on the left and she's on the right, vice versa. I don't know. Think about that. I'm normal compared to you if you hate her. And that's sad. If you hate her, I'm more normal than you. Do you want to be considered? You get what I'm saying. Anyway, I've said enough. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Peace.